What's going guys, Zennosh here, and today I'm bringing this video to you guys to discuss on how to do the flame dungeons 11th floor and 12th floor. Some tips and guides that might actually help you, especially as a beginner, to get some fire supreme magic stones, yes, which can actually be a very limiting factor for your fire servants to get into the third awakening, fourth awakening, and fifth awakening, which is actually one of the really hot issues still right now because they have very limited items. All right, so the thing is that, like, how to do them. First of all, there is actually a condition, meaning like you can only participate the tanks in this section. All right, meaning like only the tanks are able to take part in this mayhem. And yes, this part is actually one of the hardest part as well, okay, compared to other magical dungeons, like let's say forest, radiant, and dark. And let's not even mention about the magic dungeon, which is the easiest one. Okay, flame dungeon actually takes the ranking of one of the really hard. Okay, I think the most hardest would be the abysmal dungeon, which is also the water awakening dungeon. But fire dungeon, I would say it will take the second place in terms of hardness on how easy it can actually be completed. Okay, so you need 4 tank servants for 11th floor, and their CP should be about 7,000, or else you won't be able to enter the battle. Okay, so that's the thing. And right over here, guys, you can see right over here that the tanks that I have here has more than 7,000 CP, but I can actually get more better tanks which I have on my arsenal. So these are the main tank servants that I have, which will kick the ass of this one. Okay, so let's try to do with the 11th floor. Well, I will also keep on discussing that one, about this servant's synergy. Obviously, you know that, like, the first time you actually do battle per day, or let's say when this dungeon is out, you can do it for some few valor. But right now, as I've already done that, I have to spend like 150 times scatters. Wow, that's a lot. But anyways, for the sake of this video, let's do it. Okay, so sorry about my throat, guys. The thing right over here is that, first thing, you really need the tanks, and the next thing is that, like, you don't need to focus on the stats. So what are the sort of stats that you really need to focus in order to make your tanks really good? Okay, first thing first, in order to compete on the 11th floor, your tank servants needs to be of 6 star, and they needs to be of level 60 at least, and they should be awakened to the first awakening at least. Okay, if you really want to compete in the 11th floor, usually that will be pretty much okay, as long as you have pretty good and decent gears equipped to your tank servants. Your servants will be able to, like, breeze through it without any problem. Okay, just give them some time and they will actually make some difference out there. But if you are really trying to fight on the 12th floor, which is really hard, guys, and can actually take a lot of time, the thing is that, like, it can actually be a bit tricky. Okay, you really have to be very selective of what servants you choose, the element types, and their skill sets. Okay, so that will actually really help you to dictate the outcome of the battle. Okay, so right now he's nearly dead because obviously my servants right over here are way too powerful for him, but these servants might actually falter when I'm going to battle in the 12th floor. That can actually be a big problem. Okay, because, like, it's really hard, and you have to also gain or attain that CP of 15,000 mark, which can be actually pretty hard to achieve. All right, so now how to achieve that 15,000 CP? In most of the cases, guys, you have to transcend your servant by at least 1 level. Okay, so let's say my water this Valkyria is of level 62, so she is of at least 1 transcended. She is transcended for at least once. Okay, so that is the thing. So your servant should at least be transcended once, so please try to collect their copies, okay? And the second thing is that like you really have to awaken them to the third level so that like you can unlock this like additional gear, okay? Because gears really do add to your CP, okay? Gears really do add to your CP. So if you have one additional gear because of the third awakening, which you can do with the instant awakening item, all right, you will have a really good boost in your CP, okay? So with the total number of 7 gears, obviously you will have a very good boost on your CP. And now the question is, what are the sort of stats you really need to focus, the primary and the secondary stats? All right, so I'm going to discuss that in detail right over here. Well, you know, the weapon, the shirt, and the pants, the primary stats are pretty much flat stats, okay? So no need to worry about that one. But next thing is that, guys, when you are really trying to go into the substats, please focus on like HP percentage boost, defense percentage boost, and resist percentage boost, and speed boost, guys. These are the 4 main basic stats that will really shape how strong your tank is really gonna get, how high his CP is really gonna be, okay? And if you really want to like make the priority list, right, like which substat is gonna be the best, okay? So when you are actually working out, guys, the best primary stat for the gloves will be speed stat, okay? If you are really hunting out for a very good CP, then speed stat, I think it's actually gonna be working really the best on the gloves, okay? Well, obviously for the necklace as well, speed stat is gonna be really fine, okay? Normally I actually do refer you guys to get at least to get only HP percentage boost or defense percentage boost on your gloves, because more defense or more HP, more the tankiness your tank is gonna get. And in usual case of scenario, speed really do not serve that much of purpose for tanks, because the main purpose of the tank is just to tank the damage, okay, to soak on the damage. In order to soak the damage, guys, first thing first, you need to have a lot of HP and a lot of defense. Just having a higher amount of speed doesn't mean that like you will get a lot of survivability, right? So speed is sort of like, you know, like not so much needed stuff, but still, guys, speed has a little bit higher impact on the tank than compared to HP percentage boost and defense percentage boost, in my experience. I might be wrong on that part, but in my experience, speed stat boost has a little bit higher impact on the CP, even though it might actually affect them being a really good tank indeed, okay? So moving on to the helmet, guys, when we are talking about the primary stats, please go with the defense percentage boost or HP percentage boost, okay? Defense percentage boost or HP percentage boost nearly have the same impact on the CP, so it really doesn't matter that much, okay? Now when it comes to the shoes, guys, please go with the resist percentage boost, alright? The resist percentage boost is the one that will have a severe impact on your CP, okay? It has a little bit quite higher impact on your CP than compared to HP percentage boost or defense percentage boost, if you are really after the CP, okay? So that at least you have a team that is able to compete on this level, then those are the stats that you should be really focusing on. But let's say if your tank servants are already on a very high level and they are really awakened to further than third stage awakening, then I do really advise you to have only defense percentage boost and HP percentage boost on your gloves, your helmet, and your shoes and stuff like that, okay? But in this certain case, guys, resist percentage boost will really help you to get that really amazing boost of CP, which you might need in order to at least meet the basic requirements in order to get inside the battle, okay? And same goes with the ring as well, because like the ring also supports the resist percentage boost, so try to go with that one if some way somehow you did not manage to get 15,000 CP, okay? So that's the case, guys. But in most of the case, I think the ring is like, if you are able to manage to get unlock the slot, that means your CP should be already above 15,000 guys. So that is the case most of the time. And the next thing is that like what type of servant to choose. Okay, first thing first, you need to see this opponent. He is a fire element, so naturally you would want to have your team to be composed mostly of the water servants, right? Like water Carmilla right over here. Yes, in most of the cases, but there are some really beneficiary fire units. Okay, well, don't really try to include like like forest element tanks, because obviously they will have very limited viability against the fire opponents, because like most of the damage that they will deal will be considered as glancing hits, which will deal lesser and lesser damage. And glancing hits also like kind of are immune to sort of like how to say like secondary effects, so that is pretty bad. So please don't try to take forest units as much as possible. And further than that one guys, water units, water servants are gonna do the best, and fire units are gonna do the normal type of damage. So there are some units or like servants that I would really love to recommend to you guys. Okay, so first of all, in the name of tank, I would actually love to recommend you guys the fire heat. Okay, why? Because let's look into his combo skill guys. He deals the damage based on the enemy's max HP, which will really allow him to deal a massive amount of damage to the opponent guys, to the enemy, because of this thing right out here, dealing damage based on max HP, right? So like if you have really a good stats on him, he can actually deal a massive amount of damage guys, because dungeon bosses you really do have, most of the time they really do have high HP. Okay, so this one is really meant for like reducing the HP of the opponent, and this will really help you to take down the chariot of the fire dungeon 12th floor really fast, the karma. Okay, one thing is that one. And there is another servant that I would really love to recommend, is the fire Lucretia. You know why? Because look into her combo skill as well. There it says increases the attack of all allies for 30 seconds by level 3, which is pretty amazing guys. I mean like as a tank, your attack is gonna be very pathetic, so any sort of like attack boost is gonna be welcomed. Okay, you have to welcome any sort of attack boost that you can get, and Lucretia is gonna provide that with her ultimate skill. That is one thing. If we are going to move down further, any water units are gonna really do really fine. Okay, and if you are going to go further down, well, light and dark units are always awesome because they have superior stats. They do not really suffer in terms of defense and HP boost. Okay, so they really have higher stats, and yes, they do really enjoy a very good stat boost, and they can do a lot of damage to the opponents. Okay, so that said and done, we have like other units that I might actually want to recommend to you guys. One is the light Enoch. Okay, light Enoch is pretty amazing because let's look into his second skill. It says guys, deals the damage based on the cost of max HP. Okay, so that is also the thing, meaning like the more HP you have in this particular unit guys, you are actually gonna deal a massive amount of damage. All right, so this light Enoch is gonna be a pretty good addition to your team as well. Okay, keep that in mind guys, he will gonna be a very good addition to your team as well. Okay, because of his particular second skill. Now these are the main recommendation of in servants that I would really love to give to you, except for all that one guys. You really have to focus on the gears. Try to have a really good strong gear equipped to your servants, and they will actually make a very good role on the against the chariot of the fire dungeon 12th floor. Okay, so let's try to do this battle. Okay, so let's try to do this battle and let's see the output. Usually I actually lose in this battle, so I have to spend like 30 carats to do the second run. Okay, not because like I am not able to complete up like defeat him, because like like the time gets over, meaning like it's when it's like above 5 minutes mark, this catastrophe, it actually gets activated, and then it actually wipes out my entire team. Now that is a problem, guys, this catastrophe, okay, done by the tower. So this Scarlet also has, I think he has a very high defense as well, and he takes less and less damage as the time passes by. So that is also another problem. And my fire hit is actually taking a lot of damage because, like, I think as I said earlier, he's actually the main damage dealer in my team. So if he gets down really fast, then that can actually be a huge problem for me. Okay, so let's look into his damage. 83,999. Let's look into the damage of my fire ram. That is about 57,933. Okay, so yes, the damage of my fire hit is pretty amazing so far right now. And let's look into the damage of water Carmilla. That is about like water Valkyria, that is 27%. But in the damage rating right over here, it says like Fire Ram is the one who is actually dealing the most damage right now, because I think she started with her combo skill. That might be the case. Okay, next thing is, yes, Fire Ram can actually be a really good addition to your team as well, because she reflects the damage, guys. Yes, she reflects the incoming damage as well, so that can actually be a really passive addition to your damage output as well, as she reflects the damage. So every damage she takes, she sends it back to the opponents, so that can be pretty good as well. Okay, so let's keep on looking on this factor. Damn, oh damn, this guy is pretty pesky, guys. And see, the catastrophe is actually nearly like filled up. So once it's filled up, it will cast that like AoE damage and wipes out all of my team. So even though like it's nearly done, but sometimes like you get so near yet you are too far. Okay, so like maybe I gave some wrong dialogue. So let's do it. Nearly done. Let's see what's gonna happen. Will I get lucky on this part? Because like most of the time I actually do die. That's still a considerable chunk of HP, provided that I only have 2 standing servants right now. Oh my god, holy crap. Let's see what's gonna really happen, how it's really gonna roll out. So my Fire Ram still have the highest damage output right out there, which I believe is due to the reflect damage in a mechanic. Okay, so now this catastrophe is the one that is the main villain here. Okay, yes, my servants are still standing, but this catastrophe is like a ticking time bomb at the mark of like, oh, not 5 minutes, I think it's the mark of 3 minutes. Okay, in the mark of 3 minutes I will be wiped out. Oh my god, wow, just nearly there. Boom! That's the thing, guys. That's the thing that I've been fearing. Oh my god, just one more. Anyways, let's revive and do it. So sometimes there might be a case that like you are in the rush of getting the CP, but you might not be able to complete the floor in just one turn, but you are in desperate need of the supreme magic stones. So in that case of scenario, you might actually resort to spend 30 additional carats to just continue the battle and defeat the enemy. Okay, so that is the thing. So that is still a big problem for me, so I still need to build up my my team, guys. I mean, like, what more do they want, guys? I'm level 66 of Fire Ram, level 66 of Forest Ram, a level 62 of like Fire Heat, and level 62 of Water Valkyria, and it's still not enough. Damn it. Alright, so that's pretty much the problem right out here. Anyways, I hope you learned what I really wanted to teach you guys. Okay, so this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to keep on enjoying the contents of my channel, and see you guys in the next video.